nangyayari? Ayun guys, so good evening. Iyak shamalar, bonsoir, konbanwa, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. My name is Colleen Gaye and I'm your one and only Baguio Lass and welcome to my YouTube channel. So sa mga oras na to, as you can see, nasa labas tayo ng ating bahay. Nasa SM tayo ngayon. Nagkakape kasama ang aking one and only Miss Giwa. Charot. But yeah, anyways, if you're a person who likes to learn languages, then please do keep watching because I will be talking about how I learn a language fast, effectively, and efficiently. Ayun po. So I'll be giving tips and tricks on how to learn a language sa video na ito. So ayun. Pangarap ko kasing maging translator sa Miss Universe kasi hindi ako makasali ng Miss Universe. Kaya maging translator na lang ako. Char. Char lang. Mukha pa lang kasi wala na tayo. Wala na tayong binatmark. Just ko nagpa-check-in ako ng Miss Universe. Parang makakahiya po. But yeah, anyways, joke lang. Serious talk tayo. Diba, I've mentioned in my previous videos that I've been learning Turkish for a couple of months and then nakita ko kasi that I was already competent in understanding the language. Kaya yun guys, I'll be using yung journey ko in learning Turkish as an example para ma-explain ko sa inyo yung mga tips and tricks na sasabihin ko sa video na ito. So keep watching! Okay, so number one, kailangan mo munang alamin yung language na gusto mong aralin, di ba? Gusto mong mag-aral language pero hindi mo alam paano daw yun, mga friends. Ayun guys, so once you've identified that certain language na gusto nyong aralin, ito ang pinaka-importante na kailangan nyong gawin is to know your purpose or your goal in learning that language. So ayun, tanungin niyo yung sarili niyo, is it for educational purposes only? Or magagamit niyo ba siya in the future? Or does it make you happy? Ayun, once you find out yung purpose niyo sa pag-aaral ng language na yun, then use it as your motivational force to pursue learning. So ayun, nung nag-aaral ako ng Turkish, parang ang nasa isip ko lang is it makes me happy kasi ultimo may matutunan lang ako na isang sentence or isang word. Pag nasabi ko siya, it really gives me joy. Kaya yun yung naging driving force ko para ipagpatuloy na mag-aral hanggang sa mga oras na ito. So, ayun guys. Mahanap nyo, pag nahanap nyo, gawin nyo yun ang motivational force nyo. So, understood? So, ayun guys, hindi naman talaga Miss Universe translator ang pangarap ko. I actually aspire to become a polyglot before I turn 25 years old. So, sa mga hindi nakakaalam kung anong polyglot, isa siyang tao na marunong or maalam sa different languages. So, ayun, yung aim ko na before ako mag-25, dapat may alam na akong 5. And sa age ko ngayon, I think mayroon pa akong enough time para makapag-aral pa. Number 2 na tip is you have to have commitment, time, patience, and effort. Diba, bongga? Parang relasyon lang yan. Kailangan committed ka into learning.
Sana all committed.
Sana akong skill. Pero anyways, yun na. Serious talk, kailangan committed ka in learning kasi pag hindi, then everything will be wasted. Lahat ng effort na ginawa mo sa mga oras na to, pag hindi ka nagpatuloy na maging consistent sa pag-aaral, di masasayang lang din. Parang nga sa relasyon, kung hindi ka consistent, then definitely you're gonna end up either breaking up or whatever.
Aray. Araya.
biglang language lang, biglang ganito usapin. Pero yeah, serious talk tayo. Na, ma-example ko lang, nung college kasi ako na nag-French and nag-Japanese lessons ako. And during the time, hindi ko talaga siya sineryoso. Parang, I just wanted to learn, but I wasn't really that committed in learning na to the tipong magiging fluent na ako. Kung naging committed sana ako ng mga panahon na yun, and if I invested time and patience, then definitely I would be competent in understanding and speaking both languages, di ba? Sayang naman.
Sana all nag-e-invest.
Nakakainis ka po. Pero yun guys, I know you get my point naman. Dapat consistent kayo in learning kasi pag sinimulan nyo and hindi nyo tinapos or hindi nyo tinuloy, then definitely you just wasted time. Lalo na't pandemic ngayon, time ang hindi mo na mababalik. Tip number 3, and listen very well because this comes from me. Charot, it rhymes. But anyway, so yun na. In learning a language kasi, you don't just focus on the language itself. You have to completely immerse yourself in the culture of where that certain language came from. You get what I mean? Yeah. So people nowadays, I think it's very common that people who are learning Korean are actually engaging themselves in Korean culture, Hallyu culture. So they listen to K-pop, they watch K-dramas, and they wear K-fashion, they eat K-foods, potassium. Oh my God, ang pangit na joke ko.
Corny po niya, sorry.
Pero yeah, you get my point. They immerse themselves dun sa culture ng mga Koreano. And then natututo silang mag-Korean. So you have to, magandang tip yan na i-implement mo sa sarili mo when you're learning a language. So for me, I've immersed myself in Turkish culture that I've been eating Turkish food and drinks. I've been watching Turkish movie series videos. I've been reading Turkish books, listening to Turkish music. Ngayon, visit na yung mga tao sa akin, pati sa work, sabi nila ano daw nangyayari sa akin at yung pinapakinggan ko. But yeah, it actually really helps. Alam nyo ba, sa Turkish culture, you're allowed to in some parts of Turkey, you're allowed to marry your first cousin. Kahit first cousin mo yan. As long as you don't come from the same womb, then you're allowed to marry each other. Diba? That's very interesting to know. And meron silang sayaw na tinatawag na zeybek. I've seen it being performed in weddings and in important events sa Turkey. And I've seen that how symbolic it is. Kaya sabi ko, at ipipilit ko to in the future that even if I don't marry a Turkish man or if I marry a Turkish man or whatever, magpapazebek ako sa aking kasal. That's a done deal. Walang kokontra. Okay? So, kung inibita kita sa kasal ko in the future, then definitely there will be a zebek. So, you have to be prepared. Please watch videos now. Yeah. So, yun. Immersing yourself in the culture of where that language that you're learning is from really helps para maintindihan mo, for you to understand how or what happened, why that language came to be. So, tip number 4 is to learn vocabulary and grammar structure as much as possible every day. Sabi nga nila, para daw maintindihan mo or for you to become competent in learning a language, you have to learn at least 500 words from that language. So let's say every single day you study a minimum of 10 words. So in 1 week, you learn 70 words. In a month, you learn 200 plus words. So in 3 months, then madami ka nang alam na words, di ba? Yung 600 words na yun, competent ka na sa pag-iintindi at pagsasalita for sure. So, kayun, kailangan araw-araw, consistent ka dapat na nagbabasa and natututo para fresh lagi sa utak mo. Nandun na. Okay? So, yun guys, para hindi kayo ma-bored sa pure reading lang or sa pure na pag-aaral lang ng languages, then you try to install language learning apps such as Duolingo,
Looks like you missed your Spanish lesson today. You know what happens now. Now beg for your life in Spanish. What's that? You are crying. Come on, don't cry. Just one more lesson until you can see your family again. Maybe this will motivate you. They broke their streets, so I broke their legs. Now count to 10 in Spanish and your family is released. You know what happens if you don't.
Babbel, Lingo Dear, yung mga apps na yun, para hindi kayo pure na pagbabasa lang online or from any source that you have. At least kasi sa mga apps na yun, they have quizzes, so at least you get to practice yung memorization, etc. Aside from that, you can also listen to podcasts in Spotify and in Apple Music kasi when you hear someone explaining to you, you would understand it much better, diba? Than you just reading something. So, shout out nga pala po sa podcast na pinapakinggan ko kay Miss Meltem Nazcaso Coral Sanchez. Ito yung aking podcast na pinapakinggan, which is Let's Learn Turkish. So, if you're interested in learning Turkish, then you can listen to this podcast. It's very, very helpful. Ayun, so, I've seen numerous podcasts about languages sa Spotify. So, meron Turkish, meron French, meron din ako nakita. Actually, may English din eh. For those who really want to be fluent in English, meron din. Okay? Okay guys, tip number 6. Make a diary or a journal of the daily activities that you do and write it in the language that you are learning. So, ayun guys, ako, even if the simplest things that I do every day, I write them down in Turkish, which is funny, pero it actually helps you in not only in writing, in sentence construction, yun, ultimo yung pagkain ko lang ng breakfast with my mom, sinusulat ko pa yun in Turkish, or ang paggising ko ng 8 o'clock, sinusulat ko pa yun in Turkish. Saat 8'de uyandım, annemle kahvaltı yaptım. Ano pa ba? Yung ultimo yung I drank tea, chai, içtim. Kumain ako ng ganito nung lunch. Ganon. Lahat yun sinusulat ko in Turkish. So, if you do that in the language that you're learning, then it would help you talaga to learn. I swear. And then, marirealize mo na lang na, yung mga simple na sentences na ginawa mo nung una, you can now expand them into longer sentences, into paragraphs, into essays. Diba? So, that's really good progress. And it really helps. So ngayon, kung gusto nyo basahin yung diary ko in Turkish, I'm very willing to read it out loud naman, guys. So yeah. Ayun guys, another tip is use social media in a productive way. So, hindi lang puro kara-post ng nonsense or kakastalk sa crush mo yung gawin mo sa social media. But you also learn language learning pages and also join language learning groups. And that's what I did in the past months. And I was able to meet people who are from around the world that are also interested in learning different languages. So ayun, I was able to converse with them. We shared tips with each other. So yun, it's a learning process for me and a learning process for them. So here comes another tip. Tip number 8, which is talk to a native speaker of the language. Ayun guys. If you're learning French and if you talk to a native French speaker, then at least they would help you and correct you kung may nakikita silang mali in your pronunciation or in your sentence construction or the way you use the words. At least they're able to correct. And if you join these legit language learning groups in Facebook, hindi yung mga pangloko-loko lang, then makakakilala kayo talaga ng mga tao na gano'n that are really willing to help you out in learning that language. So ako, when I joined this Turkish language group, I met a few people that were really willing to help me out. And one is Aaron, Hakjan, and Jenk. And so, yun yung mga friends ko sa group. And they were really, really helpful. So, since meron ngang time zone difference from the Philippines and Turkey, yun, para mo yung mag-shot ang LDR. Parang ganun yung peg namin. O hindi kami mag-shota, but we're really good friends na ngayon since sa tagal ba namin nag-uusap araw-araw.
But he's guwapo.
Ay siya, matangkad din guys, 6'3", pakabit nyo.
For sale.
Hindi. Pero yeah, okay, back to him. He's really patient in teaching me talaga. That gabi-gabi, 1 o'clock in the morning, nag-uusap kami, tuturuan niya ako. Pinapakinggan niya actually kung ano yung sinusulat ko sa diary and kina-correct niya. So if you do that with someone, then you'll definitely learn the language faster. Ayun nga guys, minsan nape-pressure nga ako pag nakikita ko magda-12 midnight na or pag naggagabi na kasi pag may pa-quiz siya tapos hindi ko masagot yung pa-quiz niya, nahihiya ako kasi hindi ko naman siya binabayaran pero talagang nag-e-effort siya in teaching me. Kaya, ayun guys, kaloka. Akulo-kulo. O hindi akulo-kulo ang usapan namin paggabi baka seryoso yung akulo-kulo. Okay, tip number 10. And ito para sa akin, isa to sa mga importante talaga, is teach others what you learn. Diba, Giwa? Kahit ayaw mo, tinuturuan kita.
Support po tayo sa friends natin, guys.
Pero ayun, actually, hindi lang siya for memorization skills, hindi lang siya for you to be able to internalize yung mga inaral mo, but teaching other people what you learn can actually also inspire them to learn the language with you, di ba? Malay mo, yung natutunan mo na yun, na tinuro mo sa tao yun is magbe-benefit pala sa kanila. So, don't forget to teach others what you learn. Kasi supposed, pero kung anong, I just live by the principle, kung anong nakuha ko ng libre, pwede kong ibigay sa ibang tao ng libre din. So, si Giwa, kahit ayaw niya po yung binibigay ko, or tinuturo ko sa kanya, tinuturo ko pa rin po sa kanya. Kaya, di ba? Di ba, madam? Ano doon mo, Bene?
Oh, ayan na naman. Oh, ayan na naman po siya. Shh. Back to the video.
Sash mo lang may Pero ayun guys, yun yung mga main tips ko. So, ulitin ko lang ulit. Number 1 is know your purpose or know your goal in learning the language. Number 2 is you have to have commitment, time, patience, and effort in learning the language. 3, immerse yourself in the culture of where your language came from or where the language that you want to learn came from. Number 4, learn vocabulary and grammar structure as much as possible every day. Number 5 is install language learning apps and listen to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Okay, number 6 is make a diary or journal of your daily activities and write it in the language that you want to learn. And 7, use social media in a productive way by joining language learning groups and language learning pages. Number 8, talk and practice with a native speaker and teach others what you learn. Ayun po. Hala, parang hindi pantay. 10 ba yun? Pero anyways guys, ayun, sana may natutunan po kayo sa video na to. Nag-start tayo ng video maliwanag pa. And nakikita nyo ngayon, gabi na po dito sa city of Baguio. Yes, you can see the lights already. And we are together. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Charot. Ayun, isa pa pala na funny na tip na pwede, na at sa tingin ko makakatulong sa inyo, yung settings ng phone, yung ilagay nyo sa language na inaaral nyo. Ayun, makakatulong yan. Parang at least alam mo na kung ano ibig sabihin ng incoming message. Ano ba yan? Nasa mid ako guys, kakasalita ko dito. Ang lamig na po. Pero ayun, try nyo ilagay yung settings ng phone nyo dun sa language na inaaral nyo. Tatawa kayo sa sarili nyo. O, para at least, pag may nagnakaw ng cellphone, hindi nila alam paano galawin, di ba? Kasi ano to? Ano tong ching-chong? Ching-chong. Alam ko, hindi po ako naisip. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Sana talaga may natutunan kayo. And please don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button para sa mga susunod na videos ko updated kayo. So, pwede din na din si Chin Chok the Secretarum. I hope to see you in the next videos of mine. So, ayun, kung curious nga kayo kung bakit Turkish talaga yung inaral ko, I can make a video kung paano nagsimula ang lahat, kung paano ako na-in-love sa Turkey. Ayun guys, thank you so much and have a great day. Mag-ingat po tayong lahat. God bless you all. Bye! Pakita mo, Miss Gigiwa.
Ayaw!
Igijalar, arkadaşlar.
Galit. Bye-bye.